Hi, my name is Rongie Roales, and now I'm going to discuss my laboratory exercise number 8 with the title of One Configuration and Routing System. Let's proceed to the given procedure. After doing the experiment in Lab 4, we will now establish a one link. Make sure that the experiment 4 is completed before proceeding in this experiment. Now I'm going to cast my desktop to show it better. As you can see, I already cast. Then, in configuring the one connection, click on the Cisco One router and select config mode. Choose the interface serial 000. Configure the interface serial 000 by designating the IP address to 192.168.2.1. We'll put its IP address as the given 192.168.2.1. Then press the tab key and enter the subnet mask. And the subnet mask automatically shown. Set the clock rate to 56,000. So clicking the clock rate here, going to choose 56. Okay. Enable the port status to on mode. It's already on mode. Click on the new router and select the config mode. So let's go to the other router. Change the display name and host name to Cisco 2. Cisco 2. Cisco 2. Configure the interface serial 000 with the IP address 192.168.2.2. Let's go to here, fast internet serial 000, changing the IP address as given 192.168.2.2. Then press tab and enter the subnet mask. Subnet mask automatically shown. Again, enable the port status to on mode. We already put our port status on mode. Note, the indication that the link is successful is when the serial link, the red blinking light should change to green, showing that the link is active. So as we can see here in our packet tracer, the connection is all in green light. Now, configuring the routing protocol. Click on the Cisco One router and select the config tab. Cisco One router. Click config tab. Then click on RIP and add the network address. Clicking our RIP address. RIP, I mean. Then adding our network address. 192.168.1.0. Click add. And 192.168.2.0. Then click add. Next, click on the Cisco 2 router. Let's go to our second router. Click RIP, entering our network address 192.168.2.0 and then click add. Go to each PC and set the default gateway to 192.168.1.1. So going to our PC, entering so our default gateway is already entered here. 192.168.1. Let's go to the other PC just to check. Okay. 192.168.1.1. And the last PC, IP configuration 192.168.1.1. In setting the default gateway on the PCs, enter the default gateway address 192.168.1.1, which we already done, and click it on PC0, PC1, and PC2. Test the connectivity of the network by clicking on the simulation mode. Now we will put it already in the simulation mode. It's already in simulation mode. And now let's answer the given questions in our activity. First, what is the difference of LAN connection to WAN connection? First, LAN, or our local area network, is a computer network which is limited to a small office, single building, and like that. Typically, it is a private network owned and maintained by a single organization. WAN, or our wide area network, on the other hand, spans over multiple geographic locations, which is composed of multiple LANs. Depends mainly on internet service providers, or ISPs, for connection solutions. The best example of one is the internet. Second, LAN bandwidth rate is constant and higher compared to WAN. Third, since LANs are private networks, means that it is more reliable and secure than ones who involve third-party service providers. Lastly, LANs are less congested than WANs. Second question, can we establish a communication from one point to another having some networks? Yes. Using LAN, we can establish a communication from one point to another as long as we stay on the same private network. Using WAN, on the other hand, it is also possible to establish a communication as long as both points are connected through ISPs. Third question, why do we need to configure the router? We need to configure the router so that it can communicate with the network components and make the network complete. Since the router is the backbone of our home network, we need to properly configure it to protect our information from prying eyes and securely connect all the devices in our home to the internet. Last question. What can you conclude from this activity? I learned how to distinguish different networks in a network system. I also managed to establish a WAN connection, which is the solution if there is a different network in a wired or wireless environment. By connecting LAN to LAN, aside from that, I know how to configure router to another router.